welcome to the Pitwall Panic podcast. Uh, we have a new co-host with us, and that will be Daniel, that y'all will be seeing a lot more, and we'll be having some fun talking F1 together. That being said, if you haven't yet followed us on TikTok, we're over there. We are on Twitch, obviously. We're on YouTube. Go subscribe over there if you don't mind. We have a Discord server that we are currently trying to grow, and it's supposed to be this community that allows anybody and everybody part of it. So if you're new to F1, you can come in, you can hang out with us. You don't have to worry about not knowing. All you got to do is ask the questions, and we will do our best to help you. And if you're been an F1 fan for a while, we got people in here also that have that same kind of level of knowledge. So we just want to have this community. We'd love to have you there. Today we have, first off, news like usual. And then we're also going to bring you the fun times that is our favorite historic races. Um, should be interesting because two races that got picked, I don't think anybody could guess.
Oh no, no way.
especially not Daniels. That one threw me for a loop.
Oh yeah, it throws everyone for a loop.
So I guess starting with the news, we'll get each other's takes on the FIA kind of came out and talked about bringing back the 2.4 liter V8s. They are going to keep them turboed, so they're not going to be naturally aspirated like they were before. And now, the caveat to what I'm about to say is I don't know how factual this is because I've only seen this in one place. I heard
That's true.
that they're going to make it either 70-30 split, and there's another one that I saw that said 90-10. What do you think about
Yeah,
that?
I, I think the 90-10 is probably not going to happen. I think 70-30 is since they've already gone so much with the electric, side of things. I think the 70-30 just seems more realistic if they do actually, go this route. But I mean, only time will tell. I'm curious how just this year is going to play out, with this electric and this 50-50 split even. It's wild.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where I'm at. Is I would love, honestly, I'd love to go back to no energy at all, and let's just make the
Hmm.
straight up raw racing instead of I burned my battery up too early. But I mean, 70-30 is realistic in my opinion because we were at 70-30 last season, and the entire regulation, since they started energy, it was at like a 70-30 split. What I personally would like is even a little bit less than that and do like a 75-25 split. Well, what's a 5% difference? I feel like it does make a difference. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. I think my theory is actually kind of like, so I've just been doing a lot of digging. Like I was telling you, I've been watching the 80s, 90s F1 and like really getting that raw F10, power and everything. But watching all those races, I'm not gonna lie, it was like highlights, amazing, so much fun to watch. But when it comes down to like actually just the watching lap after lap, like it's still just the top two teams. The disparity was like is huge of like the top teams and bottom teams, and like I kind of like the hybrid and the power. I think they just need to figure out how to effectively use it. And this year they probably went a little too much one way. I
yeah,
think it should have just been a gradual, steps. But for now, yeah, I think they need to tone it back a little bit. I do like the whole boost option instead of just the DRS where they just pass on the straights.
I agree
I
with that.
like that we're getting to see some different types of racing. Obviously, it's really early, and so none of the teams have figured out exactly how to effectively use it. But the 70-30 with like the boost, I think that's gonna be like that would be top notch racing,
I agree with
and
that.
yeah,
I
so
think
I
I
think
th-
it's yeah.
sorry. I think that it's one of
No,
those
go ahead.
things that right now it's so heavy that if you can't drive, you can overcome that with being able to manage the battery better. And that shouldn't be how F1 is. It should be that if you're going to have this battery, it just gives you a little bit of a boost, not
Yeah.
be a make or break or potentially kill somebody like it almost did Oliver Merriman.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, that was unfortunate events, But yeah, I think this is a good it would be a good thing to go to the 70-30 split. We still get a little bit of hybrid action. Like I feel like we're going to stick with the hybrid. It's going to be always that, F1 is about engineering and innovation just as much as having the best drivers.
Yeah.
So that's what makes F1 F1, compared to all the other spec series where it's the same engine, same chassis and all that stuff. Like F1 it's an engineering battle just as much as it is a driver battle.
Yeah, no, I
So
agree.
yeah, we're gonna see that hybrid. The 70-30 is I think the good sweet spot. But I'd be cool with 75-25. I think that's still good.
I just think that if we go too close to too much energy, then you might as well just watch Formula E. I get that it is about engineering, but now you have sustainable fuels that are a new thing that we could really be engineering an engine around instead of saying, well, let's just make it more electric. Well, we can also focus on being able to burn sustainable fuels better, how to use that better, how to make it more, I want to say longevity of it, basically. And the thing about sustainable fuels is the richer the fuel, the better it burns. So you can run less, which means your car weighs less.
Yeah, yeah,
And so you kind of get a weight advantage also. Like you still have to be at a certain weight at the end of the race, just like everybody else. But at the
yep.
beginning of the race, that makes a big difference.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I agree. That's a good point too, for sure.
So I think we can still have the ingenuity and the advancement in technology. I just don't want to see this become Formula E 2.0.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like 100%. I think if anything happens, it's gonna be pulled back. I think this is max of 50-50 that they'll ever go, you know, especially because of the backlash and everything. The FIA likes to keep everybody happy or try to, but everybody's never gonna be 100% happy.
Yeah,
But
you're not going to
I
make everybody happy.
exactly. So I think like they'll just dial it back. I think they had to go one way to see how it would play out, and I mean, if we keep seeing stuff like the Behrman situation, they're for sure going to start dialing it back and figure it out. But I mean, it's F1's about innovation, so this is just I think they had to take this huge step one way, and unfortunately, it's backfiring right now. You know,
I,
and so I'm curious to see how it plays out.
as much as I also dislike it, I think some people are taking this too extreme in the way they're going about it after the FIA. The FIA has already said, yeah, we kind of messed up with the 50-50 split. They recognize that they were trying something. But like you said, it's innovation. You can't know how bad something can be until you try it. You just can't.
Exactly, exactly.
Which I think that
Yeah.
kind of runs into the next topic for news is really good here is um there's supposed rumors going around that Red Bull has the second best engine on the grid behind Mercedes, and it's close enough to Mercedes that they might be ineligible for the upgrades by the AUDO. I think that's what it's called. Basically, the FIA put in a rule in this new regulation that I think it's the first year, it might be the first 2 years. Um, if you're 2% to 4% less power than the leading team, then you get one upgrade this season, one extra upgrade for your engine this season, and potentially one next season. Then on top of that, if you're like 5% or more, you get like two upgrades. So like Aston Martin, Cadillac that are so far behind, they could end up with two
Combined.
extra upgrades. Yeah, and and supposedly Red Bull's engine's close enough to Mercedes that they may not get it. Now, what is like if their engine is that strong? How bad is that chassis?
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. Like, I mean, it's crazy because even just the beginning of the season, that Red Bull and that Ford engine, like, it sounded pretty mean compared to the other ones. But yeah, I mean, yeah, something has to be going wrong over there with the rest of the car. You know, uh, there's that slight potential that they have, but it's like flashes here and there with lap times, and then it just nothing.
Yeah, like Australia, they looked really dangerous. As
Yeah,
Isaac Hadjar was like what fourth or fifth place,
yeah, he was flying.
and Max ran it back up to sixth place after such a terrible qualifying, and then after that, it just fell apart.
I mean, it's I and what was their issue? They just been having different types of issues. I don't think they even pinpoint exactly what's wrong with their car.
So it was
So I
like
think that's gonna be
the qualifying in Australia, if I remember correctly. It was just too loose in the rear end, and that's why Max lost the car. And then in Australia in the race, they lost the gearbox, so then skyrocketed the RPMs, and that caused Hadjar to blow the engine. And then after that, it's just been the chassis just sucked. The
yeah.
car just seems undrivable.
Yeah, but I mean, this I think it's gonna be interesting to see the next three races, just because like this massive, huge 5 week break in
Yes,
between. So I'm
and
so curious of how teams are effectively gonna use this time to fix those problems just from that data of those first three races.
supposedly, and we'll get into this more in a minute. I think. Supposedly, even it's rumored that McLaren's bringing some big upgrades to Miami.
Hmm.
I know Ferrari's supposed to be bringing some big upgrades. I think Mercedes is supposed to be bringing some upgrades. I've heard that Red Bull's bringing some upgrades. So I mean, they're all using this time as basically a mid-season break, which is essentially what this is when you think about it. It's 5 weeks of downtime.
Yeah, yeah. Just sucks that they only got three races of data to go off of.
The ones that have the best advantage here are Aston Martin because it doesn't matter how much data you have, you know your issue. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
let's let's get it to stop vibrating and we'll be okay.
Yeah. No, I agree completely.
Which supposedly they had that figured out in China. There was a part that they could put on or take off, something along those lines, that really killed the vibration. The issue was is it wasn't reliable enough to actually run in the race. So, you get 5 weeks to figure out how to make that more reliable. We might see a different Aston Martin on the grid come Miami. Who knows? And if that's the case, Red Bull needs to be scared because right now it just takes a major upgrade package for any of the teams behind them to be able to beat them if they stay the way they are. I'll plug my
Sorry,
headset.
man. I got a little friend
No,
sitting
you're
next
good.
to me now.
I gotta plug my headset up real quick. It just gave me the beep beep. All right, I'm back. Yeah, so like it could be very interesting to see what happens Miami after all the time they've had to actually make some changes. The other thing that I saw that was very interesting, unless you have anything else to add to that,
No, no, you're good. Yeah,
uh,
that's pretty much. I agree with you. It'll be curious to see how the rest of the teams are just gonna keep doing.
it's funny to me this next thing. Um, so Bonotto came out and said that no, he's just going to be team principal, and Audi has effectively ruled out Christian Horner for taking over TP, which is hilarious to me because everybody's like Christian Horner, Christian Horner, Christian Horner, Christian Horner. He did such great things at Red Bull. He did all this. He did all that. But the people that were around him on the grid were like, no, he's not. He's not coming here. Adrian Newey was like, he's not coming to Aston Martin. Bonotto was like, no, we don't need him. I'll handle this at Audi. So if he was that good, what do we not see that are making people pass him over? I have two teams now that are just like, no, we're good.
Yeah, yeah. I just think. I mean, yeah, he did so much good things, but it's probably just his personality around. He was kind of, lack of a better term, an asshole to to
Yeah,
everybody, and that's how he was on the paddock. At least that's what Netflix portrayed him as. Which I mean, you kind of saw it just the way he talks to people, how he wasn't super friendly,
he's so
and
toxic.
so yeah, he's just even if he has that mind, it's still it's a team sport in a way. You need to have a good vibe with everybody. You're already keeping two drivers from not butting heads. Like that's the hardest part too. And I think he's just yeah, it's just tough. I think it's tough to you don't want to build, especially those mid to lower teams. They don't want something like that where vibes is pretty much everything on those lower teams.
Yeah, and like the thing is in team sports you have cancers in the locker room that destroy a team. What happens if that's your front office? What happens if that's your team principal? And in Red Bull's case, he was CEO also. But like, he's supposed to keep the team together. He's supposed to keep them running together. And it seemed more like he hit Max against every second driver instead of trying to get them together. Nobody wants that to be the case for their team because all that's going to do is cause issues. So
Really. Yeah. It'd be cool to see him on another team. I'm curious if a team does give him a shot, but yeah, I think it's a big risk, It could work out in their favor, but I think it's too big of a risk right now for anybody to bite, you know,
there was
the
only
trigger.
there's only one team on the grid I could see him going to. Do you want to take a guess of who I think it is?
Cadillac.
Actually, no, that's not who I was thinking. I don't see Andretti putting up with Christian Horner.
I mean, they can take all the risk possible. That's my assumption of why, you know,
I
they're
think
they're in weird thing.
I
So,
think
but yeah, let
Alpine.
me let me hear it. Okay.
And the reason I say Alpine is oh gosh, his name just went blank in my head. The guy that just came in a couple years
The
ago
oh no 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 okay oh
that just got back into F1 because he was like banned from F1 for so long.
yeah, I can't remember. I know what you're
Oh,
talking about though.
I can picture his face and those little glasses that he always wears, and I can't stand him. I cannot think of his name, but they are supposed to be good friends. And they both kind of have the same mentality and the same mindset, and they're both extremely toxic in nature. So I just feel like they would vibe very well together and manage the team basically the same way. So I could see him going to Alpine. The other option, and this kind of works out good with our topic, I think the most F1 has ever had on the grid at one time is 24 cars. We are currently at 22.
22, yeah.
So we could add one more team to the grid. What if Christian Horner buys a team and puts them into F1? That's the only other way I see it. I think everybody
that
else
that
is too scared of the toxic environment that he brings.
yeah, that'd be wild. That'd be a wild thing.
Do you have anything else?
No, I think that yeah. I hope I see him back because as much as I hate toxic people, you gotta have it in the sport. You gotta have it. Like it's what makes it exciting. It's what gets the views. It's what gets people to watch. It's I hate it. I like humble people, but you gotta have people to hate in any sport.
And I agree with that, but I mean, we still have those. You got. I know McLaren fans are about to burn me at the stake. I really can't stand Zach Brown. I just can't. He's annoying as all get out.
I like him. He's cool. So,
So
I get it. I see how he rubs people off the wrong way, but I mean,
he's just too
he's
arrogant for no reason.
yeah. No, I get it. He's living the dream, man.
And then okay, the other guy's name was Briatore.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
And he's kind of the same character as Horner, so you still have that also. I still don't understand how F1 let him back. I don't after what he did.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, there was a whole Crashgate scandal when he was with Renault, and that's what got him barred from F1. And then it seemed like it was going to be a permanent thing, and then out of the blue, they just let him come back. And I don't understand why, and I really wish they hadn't. Um, but so the next thing, and again, this is rumors. I have not seen anything really solid concrete on this. Is that McLaren is supposedly bringing huge upgrades to Miami. Now the question is, what do they need to do to be competitive? We saw in China, Oscar was extremely competitive. Lando is out in his own little world on a life raft though.
Yeah.
Like every race he is finished like at least 30 seconds off the podium,
Hmm.
if not further back. So, I mean, one, they have to fix reliability. That's the first and foremost. Um, and I think, I don't know. At this point, I think, do you build into Oscar and try to make it balanced enough to help Lando, obviously? But if Oscar is your lead driver, do you build more around him?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, because it's like you kind of should build off your world champion, But yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. I think that the next three races is really gonna tell us the story of McLaren and who they're gonna really put all their work into. I think it's just too early to tell, and I think they're just trying to figure out how to comply with these regulations and build a competitive car.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just too early to tell. But Piastri he did look real good.
he looks so much better than Lando has all season.
Yeah, yeah,
I
he
say all
shot.
season, it's 3 races, but like still,
Yeah.
you think back to Australia, and Lando was 35 seconds off of Lewis, who was in fourth, and that was after Ferrari botched a pit stop strategy that would have saved him 10 seconds. So if they had done the pit stop strategy like everybody else, Lando would have been like 45 seconds off of
Mm-hmm.
fourth place.
I agree.
And then you look at China, they had a double DNS. And then you look at Japan, and Lando was still 20, 30 seconds off of fourth again.
Mm-hmm.
If not, yeah, it was fourth, I think. It might have been fifth. Because you had top three were
I
Kimmy,
think it was fifth.
Oscar, Charles, George. Was it Lewis and then Lando, or was it Lando then Lewis? I can't remember.
Yeah, I would have to look it up.
Either way, he was not fighting for anything podium wise.
No, no, he was kind of just driving by himself. Really.
So I don't want to say, like, in the ideal world is you build a car that both drivers can drive. And McLaren did a really good job of that last year. It's just Lando seems to really be struggling this year.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's just trying to figure out the regulations right now, and I just like most of the drivers, and he's just a little slow to it. So, will he adapt? Will he not? Only time will tell. But Mercedes might be too far ahead with Ferrari. So,
Yeah,
by the time he figures it out.
can think we can save this Ferrari news for, well, we'll go ahead and cover it, I guess.
Yeah.
So supposedly Ferrari is already, they're so confident that they are going to be hit with the AUDO, which we all know that they are super underpowered on straight line speed because they have the smaller turbo and everything else. Supposedly the rumor has it that they are supposed to have 50 horsepower more than Mercedes once this is done. The crazy thing about that is right now Mercedes is supposed to have 50 horsepower more than Ferrari. So basically they're jumping this engine by 100 horsepower if it goes the way they're saying. And then the next part of this is, if this is true, and anybody that has listened to the podcast knows that I believe Mercedes is cheating and is running that 18:1 compression ratio, and it is not a loophole because the rule says the engine must be at 16:1 compression ratio. It does not say when you're tested it should be at a 16:1. It just says run at a 16:1. Just because it doesn't get tested later does not make it a loophole. It's still cheating. Now they about to get caught. So when they get caught and you have this big boost of horsepower by Ferrari, could we really see a huge change? Mercedes has really been running away with it. Do we see that out of Ferrari? It would be nice as a Ferrari fan to see.
Oh yeah, 100%. I hope. I'm hopeful. I'm a Ferrari fan. So one could hope and dream that it means that they're gonna be competitive. And I mean, it's cool to see what they're doing now. So that mixed with whatever rear wing magic they got going on, once they whip that out, I hope it brings them to the front.
Well, one of the upgrades they're supposed to be supposedly bringing is they fixed. I don't know if you saw. I think it was in China. They had the like little random wing thing on the halo. I don't know what they were calling it. It was like on the center pillar, and I think it was clear at China. And then the FIA approved it, so then they went back and they revamped it to, better, because, that's how F1 works. And obviously paint it black to blend in with the halo better. And supposedly that's supposed to be coming also. So, like, they're doing a lot. And if this engine upgrade is as powerful as they're saying it's supposed to be, and it comes in at Spa, we know this car is so much better in the corners. And if they can fix the straight line speed, and you go to a track like Spa that has a lot of heavy corners, I'm gonna be in heaven as a Ferrari fan.
Yep.
But then again, I said that about Japan also. We saw how that went.
Yeah, I'm just glad they're right there. They're up there. They're fighting. You know, it's cool to see Hamilton.
Oh yeah.
do what he's doing, and I mean, I'm for sure I'm more of a Leclerc fan than Hamilton, but I mean, it's just cool to see them at least fighting for a little bit. Obviously, that Mercedes be really strong right now.
And the thing is
But
they're not even out of it yet. Like all it takes is one bad weekend. I mean, we saw George had a bad
Right.
weekend. All it takes is both either George to DNF, Kimmy to DNF. Both of them just have a bad weekend, and Ferrari's back in the fight again. Like they're not so far out of this that they're cooked now. Like Red Bull, it's going to take a miracle for them, but like Ferrari's right there in this fight still. Then the other news, trying to get through this a little bit quicker here, um, is that Aston Martin's engine vibrations are supposedly partly due to the chassis, according to, I'm gonna butcher this dude's name, Koji Watanabe, I think is how you pronounce it. He's the president of Honda Racing Corporation. Um, and the quote that he put out is also in the test on the dyno. The vibration is an acceptable level, but once we integrate it into the actual chassis, the vibration is getting much more than the test on the dyno. So everybody's been going, well, what did they do with this Honda engine? Now it's what did Adrian Newey do to this chassis? Uh, it, is anybody really surprised by this? I don't know, because I don't know if you can make an engine that bad.
yeah, I know it's it's so unfortunate for them. I feel bad. I feel bad mostly for Alonso. Man, it's gosh. Yeah, I don't even know. There's like no words to really explain how bad they're doing and everything that's going on with them. Just, I mean, you can even see Lance Stroll's eyes when he got interviewed, like just how he's just defeated. He's just like, "Oh, we're having our own Aston Martin championship." Like it's just hilarious because he's just like, it's a joke of how bad it is.
Yeah, and like the thing is I think Fernando Alonso, we just mentioned him. I think he's a key uh, clue to where this car is at. He is in the past when he's had a bad car, he has been very vocal about how bad this car really is,
Hmm.
and we're not really seeing that. Like we're hearing it a little bit, but he's still optimistic, which tells me there's something going on that we don't know about. Because it
Yeah,
is,
I mean, I really hope for her sake. For his sake, I really, really hope.
and for him to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna come back next year because I don't want to go out on a slow car, says that he thinks they're gonna make some kind of change that's actually helpful. Uh,
Yeah,
Otherwise, he'd just be like, "No, deuces. This is not getting any better. I'm not gonna finish this way. I'm just done."
that's for sure a good point. I mean, yeah, he would be a lot more like I'm done, but ah, yeah. I really hope because it's cool to. I like Fernando. He's fun, especially me watching these older races. I just finished his rookie season, so it's cool to
What year was
see
his
him
rookie
like
season, anyways?
2002, I believe,
2002. I
or
would have.
2001. I, or it could have been 2001, and then he was a reserve driver, and then he came back.
Let's put this in perspective real
Yeah.
quick. 2001. I was a whole 5 years old, and I am 29.
Yep. Oh yeah. Been racing for a long time. The fact that we're still talking about him right now
And
is
he's still
amazing.
relevant. It's not like
Yeah.
he's,
Yeah.
you know, okay, the car is holding him back right now, but in the past, I mean, he's not fighting for podiums, but he's always in the points, or at least fighting right there at it.
Hmm.
So, it's not like he's just filling a spot on the grid either.
100%. Yeah. I mean, he's for sure earned every bit of everything that he's had. So
Um, we'll do this real quick. Everybody's been talking about GP leaving and going to McLaren. and the tone that people are saying is, "Oh, this is the sign that Max is going to leave." I think we already had a sign if he was going to leave, that he's leaving, and the fact that how much time has he been putting into GT3? He literally started his own team that is backed by Red Bull.
Yep.
So why are we putting all this weight on GP going to McLaren that that's it? And people are like, well, they're setting it up for Max to go to McLaren in 2020. What are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think he's actually going to go
Yeah.
to McLaren in 2028, or do you think he's just going to focus on GT3?
No, I think we're always gonna see Max in a Red Bull. That's what I think. So whether he stays in F1 or he retires, he's gonna be with Red Bull. Red Bull's already invested into him, his sim racing, his Verstappen racing, his GT, like everything. So I think he's not going nowhere unless it's with Red Bull.
Yeah, because if he goes to McLaren, he loses all that backing.
Hundred
Because
percent.
Red Bull's not going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And if you're trying to start your own racing team, you'd be absolutely brain dead to be like, oh, I'm going to go to one of your major competitors.
Yep.
Like, no. And unless McLaren's saying we're going to pick up where they drop, which I don't see them having the backing to be able to do.
No way.
But people think about McLaren and think, oh, these are high end luxury cars and Red Bull's just a drink. But I'm pretty sure if I had to go look it up, Red Bull is worth more than McLaren.
I feel like that's a safe bet.
They have their hands in so much stuff
Everything. So much stuff.
that, let's be realistic here.
Yeah. It's more than a drink.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's more than a drink. Yeah.
which race do we want to start with?
Yeah. I think if he goes anywhere, it's Mercedes, and they're gonna give him like the most money ever. That's the. I mean, and Toto, he hasn't been shy about that.
Let's
He's like, I'll take Max in a heartbeat. you know,
let's
I
do a
don't think
little
that's happening, but
let's do a little side quest here for a second. If if he went to Mercedes, who do they drop?
oh, oh, that's a tough one. It's gonna be a rock paper scissors game.
I don't think it's that tough, actually.
Oh, really? I mean,
I think it's George.
yeah, I think yeah,
What has
yeah, I
Toto
think,
said from the beginning?
yeah,
He
Kimmy's the dude.
well, since he missed out on Max, he has said over and over and over, "I do not want to miss out on that next talent. I don't want to miss out on that next talent." And he was saying that even with George there, which tells me he does not view George that way. Whenever Lewis left, he said, "We are going to have to see if you can be a number one." He didn't have that confidence in George. And the way he treats Kimmy is on a whole different level than George. That tells me if Max went, "Hey, Toto, I want to come race for you," George, sorry, dude, go talk to Red Bull. Maybe you can get Max's seat.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. Yeah, I guess I like George. But yeah, Kimmy's Toto's guy, and I think Kimmy is the future. He's you see the flashes already, and he's only gonna get better and better once he figures it
Exactly.
all out.
And you look at the way he's driving, and a lot of people will say, well, he was looking for the next Max. And I can't remember who I was talking to. I would argue that Kimmy might be the next Lewis. And I think Lewis is better than Max. I think that while, yes, Max came out a lot faster, don't forget that Lewis won a championship at McLaren in his second season. Everybody just thinks about his championships at Mercedes.
Hmm.
And
In a very, very, very competitive season.
where is Kimmy lined up right now? He's leading the driver standings. Yes, it's 3 weekends in, but he's leading. And it's not by accident. Like, he's just been really good so far. So, like, I just don't see them getting rid of Kimmy. He's also a decade younger than George. Why would you get rid of a talent that is that young, somebody that's going to be leaving way sooner than he will? Just
No,
saying.
I agree. I agree. You can't. Yeah, I feel like that's a good assessment. And George is gone.
So, what race do we want to cover first?
Um, I mean, it doesn't matter. We let's do we'll do your we can let's do yours. I like your race. It was a good one.
All right, so the main thing tonight is focusing on our favorite races from a historical aspect. So nothing from like the last 3 years. Like went back in the archives. So I chose the 2011 Canadian GP, and if you have not watched that race, you need to. Uh, it's old enough you're not really going to have any commentators, so you just get to listen to the engines the whole time. But it is one heck of a race, and it is such a great race. Um, it's Canada. What happens in Canada a lot? It rains, it gets wet, and that track, when it is wet, has no grip.
Oh yeah.
So that just makes it, all that much more. How many laps is Canada now? Do you know?
Oh, now?
Yeah,
Um,
I'll look at the 25.
yeah. I know in 2011 it was 70.
Uh, let me look. Let me look. Let me look. Okay, so it's still 70 laps now. I just don't remember it being that long. It just does not feel like
What?
it's that long. But it's
Like
70
the
laps.
2011 race or
No, I looked up the
oh, just in
2025
general.
race. I looked up the
Oh, okay.
2025 race. So it's still 70
Yeah.
laps.
Yeah.
Um, and it was bad enough the weather was bad enough to start it off on a safety car. And they're
Then
on
dried back up.
full wets. Do we really see that in modern F1 anymore? When was the last time you saw somebody on full wets?
We we haven't. Like
Like
it's not they've canceled the or not canceled the race, delayed the race start or anything like that. Like we just don't see it, and it's like why even make the wet tire?
I want to see that. Like we had that opportunity at Brazil a few years ago, and they delayed the start.
Exactly.
Like they're almost coddling the new drivers. And you look back and you're like, well, there's a safety issue. Okay, I understand that. But in 2011, they didn't even have a halo, so your head can literally just disappear.
Hmm.
And they were still out there driving. And why can we not, with all the safety advances that we have on these cars? Yes, I understand. You're driving 200 miles an hour. Anything can happen, and you can die at any time. Yes, but you knew that when you signed up for the job.
Hmm.
I'm just saying, it's not safe, dry, or wet. That's why not everybody can do it.
Yep.
Like let's stop coddling the guys. And if you're that good as you're supposed to be, because you're in F1, prove it. You're supposed to be the best drivers in the world. Go out there and show it. Is that wrong?
No, I agree. I wish they would race more in the rain. Um, yeah, I mean, I personally don't like racing in the rain on the F1 25 game, but but watching it is a whole different story. I love it. It's fun to watch. It's interesting to see those drivers, and you get that aspect of what the heck is going to happen. You don't know, like what we'll talk about later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But like, and that's the thing is like they get paid all this money to do it. Shouldn't you be able to handle that? Look at Max in Brazil in what was that 24 when it was raining real bad, and he went from back of the grid to winning the race. If you're that good, prove it. Well,
Exactly.
if you constantly coddle them and hold their hands, how are they going to prove it?
I
Oh,
agree.
and like you said, what's the point of having wet tires if you're not going to?
Yeah, they're the show tires.
Right now, and here's the other aspect that's crazy that I don't think a lot of people think about. So, being in Canada, it's further north than a lot of races that I'm aware of. Than maybe some of the ones in Europe. I don't know where in the equator, Silverstone falls, so it might be further north than the Canadian GP. But what does that equate to? Colder track temperatures and in the rain. Like they were talking about the track was at 19 degrees Celsius. And for those in the States, that's 66 degrees Fahrenheit. There's no heat in these tires. And then on top of that, Canada is considered a semi street circuit. And if you don't understand why that's such a big deal in the rain, look back at Australia in 25. I mean, you had Hadjar go out on the formation lap. You had Alonso go out because he got on the wet paint. You had Sainz go out for the same reason, just went into a wall. You had, I think, every rookie except for Kimi DNF that race because when a street circuit gets wet, the level of grip just disappears. And that's important for what comes next when you're looking at the Canadian GP, in my opinion. Um, now, also, this is the other part that's insane to me. I know you can see my notes. The average pit stop in the 2011 GP was like 4 seconds. What's the average now? Like 2 to 2.5 seconds?
Yeah, I think those are like good ones, but I say 2 to 3 seconds.
Nobody hits a 4-second pit
Crazy,
stop
yeah.
anymore. Unless something is going wrong. And then everybody's like, oh no, they hit a 4-second pit stop.
Yeah.
Just thinking about how big of a difference that makes. And the reason I bring that up, and this is just a little bit of getting ahead of us here. Sebastian Vettel in this race had 3 pit stops. Jenson Button had 6 pit stops. If you're averaging 4 seconds a pit stop, that's 3 extra pit stops. That's 12 seconds in pit stops extra. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
But
actually
there was
insane.
also 6 safety cars during that race.
Was it
And the red
6?
flag. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I got a bunch of stats. Yeah, so 6 safety car appearances and a red flag that lasted over 2 hours. And the total race time, this is kind of cool, 4 hours and 4 minutes with the suspension of the race, which is the longest F1 race in history at that time.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that's when you're sitting there for 2 hours waiting to get back in your car, it messes with you mentally. You have psyched yourself up to get in this race, you get going, and then you have to stop, and then you have to redo all that.
Yeah, and
That's a different mental
what
game.
caused that?
Just the rain. The rain got so bad. I know we just talked about, they'd let him race in it.
Crashed.
So somebody did crash what caused a safety car. And then the rain got so bad that Vettel come over the radio and said,
Didn't clean it.
not, it's turns 9 through, he said turns 9 through 13 are just undrivable. And then after that, came over the radio. It might have been Jenson Button that came over the radio and was like, I cannot see anything. And so they relayed all this information to the FIA and they're like, okay, we'll red flag just to let the rain stop so that we can hopefully dry the track out so you can at least see where you're going. And
then it was back on lap 37, I think, or something like that.
It was something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is correct. Oh, no. They started back lap 35.
35.
Because lap 35 out of 70, Jenson Button was in 10th place. Now, if you don't know, spoiler alert, Jenson Button won this race. The only reason I'm saying that is this race happened over almost, we're coming up on 2 decades almost. So that's on you if you haven't watched this race yet. And still go watch it because it's still phenomenal. So, he wins this race, and on lap 35 when it's restarting, he's in 10th place. And then just showing the mindset of these drivers. Off the restart, going straight into turn 1, Felipe Massa just is on the tack already and going after Kobayashi. And isn't just let me just sit back and wait a second, let me dry out more. No, it's full send right off the rip.
Yep.
And we don't see that anymore. Everybody plays it too cautious. And I understand you can't damage the car. I understand you need to finish the race. And I know a lot of people went after Oscar and Lando for racing too hard last season. That's really the last time we've seen hard racing outside of maybe Max. And then now we had Charles and Lewis doing it this season because they were really close to each other.
Oh yeah, it was great. It's fun to see. I think that's
so
what,
much better.
I think that's why they're making this. They're trying so hard with these regulations to manufacture that type of racing because I think it just got lost.
It has, and it'd be exciting to see it come back. So
yeah, yeah, I hope so. Here, you want to talk final classifications for that race? Some
Well, let's
some old names that we remember.
one second first. Let's get to this part that makes it so insane for this race. This is why this is my favorite race. So lap 35,
Okay.
Button's at 10th. Lap 40, he's in 21st because he pits,
Yep.
comes back out. Alonso does some crazy maneuver going down into the first chicane and ends up beached and just blew out Button's. Got a puncture, so he had to pit again, puts him in 21st. Now, here's the crazy part about this. Everybody talks about Max and Lewis's, major comebacks. But they did it for an entire race. Lewis wasn't even in last place when he did his, did he? Was he? That everybody focuses on?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think he was in like 19th or 18th. And then Max has done it from 20th. Mm-hmm. But that was from the start of the race. They worked their way forward. Jenson Button, over half the race was done and he's in last place. He's got 30 laps left out of 70. And homie runs it back to first and doesn't just barely squeak past. He gets first place by 2 seconds. Yep. And is 13 seconds ahead of third place. That is insane.
Oh, yeah. He was on a tear.
The amount of driving he had to do is absolutely crazy. Like 9 laps in, he goes up from 21st to 12th. And then suddenly on lap 56, he's 4th. How does this happen? That was my big thing on that.
He was a beast, man.
So, and that's why I think it's crazy when you think about, like, Vettel only pitted 3 times and Button pitted 6 times. And he still pulled that off to beat Vettel. Granted, Vettel helped him out a little bit on the last lap by losing the rear end. But, still, to even be in that fight, he should have never been there.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, maybe got fifth, 6th or whatever. But yeah, he just came out going.
So it's just, to me, that's one of my favorite races to watch if I go back and watch a historic race, just because of like the insanity of looking at what he did, because it's not even like he's racing nobodies. He's racing a prime Vettel. He's racing Schumacher. He's racing Nico Rosberg. He's racing like some of the top names in F1
Fernando
history.
Alonso on a Ferrari.
Yeah. Felipe Massa.
Yep.
All right, so what were you going to say? Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say we can give them the classification, the first to third, the top 3.
All right, go ahead. You want to take that?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So first place was Jenson Button that we talked about. Second place, Sebastian Vettel by 2.7 seconds behind, and then Mark Webber, 13.8, and then some, I guess, honorable mentions. Names that we know. Michael Schumacher came in 4th, and then Petrov, Renault, Massa, Ferrari, and then who else do we got in here?
I can't remember.
Nico Rosberg,
yeah, Rosberg.
11th. He came in 11th, and then the rest of there's some interesting teams that we forgot about.
Lotus was there.
Yeah, Lotus. Lotus was using the Renault engine.
Sauber.
India, Mercedes.
Sauber, when there was
engines were being used during that time.
What was crazy is you have Sauber there when Sauber was just that Sauber.
Yeah.
I mean, you think back, and before it was Audi, it was Sauber Kick, and then before that it was Sauber Alfa Romeo, and then like it's been a long time since it was just Sauber.
Yep. Now it's Audi. No more Sauber. Yeah, it's crazy looking at all the old teams and everything, and it's 2011. That's when I graduated high school.
I was still in high school.
So that was like my I was slightly watching. I wasn't huge into F1, but I watched all like the highlights and stuff, so it was kind of cool. I probably was more into IndyCar during that time.
I was doing more NASCAR at that time. Me and my dad would watch NASCAR.
Yeah.
So
it's a good racing back then.
The amount of like the driving that was involved in that, and in those conditions, I wish we could see that more.
Yeah, and especially with the new regulations and it's already dangerous on dry conditions. I doubt we'll see that anytime soon.
Yeah, imagine that accident that Ollie Behrman had happened in the rain.
Oh yeah, not
That
good.
hmm, that would have been bad.
Yeah, yeah, not good.
So, do we want to go on to your choice?
Yeah, sure thing. So, yeah, it's one of my favorite all-time favorite races to watch. It's a wild one. I know you watched it for the first time recently.
Yes.
um, yeah, so it is the 1996 Monaco Grand Prix. And for those, spoiler alert, it's only been what was that now? 30 years, or
At least
30 years ago.
almost.
So
Depends on
I
when in
can't really spoil
'96.
anything that's 30 years old. But this is a race that only three drivers took the checker flag.
I think
Luckily, seven got officially classified because they finished the race within 90%. Because at that time, if you finished the race 90%, you got you got classified, which was important back then because only the top six took points at
isn't
that time.
isn't this
Yeah,
the only race in history where only three drivers has finished?
I believe so. I think there was another race that happened at the Indianapolis GP, um,
That tells you how
the
long ago
same
that
one.
was.
Yeah, and that but it was because I think it was Bridgestone and Michelin. I can't
Yes,
remember
I
exactly.
remember that they were
Yeah,
having a rivalry going on.
yeah, and it wasn't safe for I forgot which one it was, and
Bridgestone.
half of the people weren't able to race.
Yeah,
And so basically they started the race with only half the grid. And so I think that was like the next one that had the least amount of finishers.
but that was for a whole different issue though.
Yeah, whole different reason. Yeah, this one was crazy. So at the time there was 22 starters. So we had 11 teams at that time, which is kind of a cool thing because we've like we talked about. I think at one time there's 12 teams.
In
There
Canada,
you there was back then
2011
there
they had
was more
24.
teams. Yeah, there was more teams back then, but they had to do like a last chance qualifying on Thursday, I think, to try to get into the field.
Gotcha.
And then yeah, so like some teams weren't like those little teams. They were just trying to make the grid every week. So
That'd be
that's what I've
nerve
learned in
wracking.
the 80s and 90s, which is wild. Um,
That'd
yeah,
be
and so
so.
this race
That would be
was
so
just
nerve
insane.
wracking to think about as a team.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah. I couldn't believe that if that was a thing back then.
stressful.
Yeah, and then back then in '96, so I think by then most of the grid was running V10 engines, but there was still, let's see, I have three teams that were still running V8 engines,
Wait,
because
I
they
missed that
got
part.
to have, yeah. This is just little stats that I put together, like when I've been going through my watch fest from the '80s to now, just little things I was taking notes on back then. I'm reading my old notes right now, which is like just it's interesting stuff. And let's see what else. I think that was like the stuff. Basically, dry sessions all throughout practice, and then I think it was supposed to be dry, and they were expecting dry, and then wet happened between the warm up and the race, which was like wild because they were not expecting that. And then I guess I can take you down like all the incidents that occurred.
1 second.
uh,
Just a fact that
yeah.
I just looked up. So you look up like a standardized like engine like V8 V10. At least from what Google is saying, F1 did not make that a thing until like 2010. To where you're
What?
saying some teams
Yeah,
were running a V8 and some
hmm
teams were running a V10. That's
yeah,
wild to me.
yeah, yeah. I don't think people realize that. Yeah,
That's
um,
crazy.
yeah. Well, the V10 engine was when I think Ferrari was the first ones to do it in the early '90s, and or maybe even like '89 or '90. I can't remember exactly, but when that happened, they were not that competitive because reliability was
That makes
it
sense.
was atrocious. It was so bad. And it's always been a thing with the V10s. I have stats for V10s versus the hybrid. Like DNFs were so common with the V10 engine
That makes
because
sense.
reliability wasn't. Yes, the power, the emotional um, attachment that we have to it is, it's unmatched. That sound is chef's kiss. It's so good, you know. Uh, but yeah, like it just the reliability it was never there. I mean, some teams figured it out some years. Um, that's why Schumacher was as good as he was. Yeah, it's crazy.
I guess that would have
Yeah.
also that would have added weight to the car too, because the V10 is going to be heavier.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, it does. Yep.
back then, the driver weight was not part of the car. So if you could
No.
get a lighter driver, you could shed weight. So that would
Yeah,
be like a big deal.
yeah, and then I think, and back then it was like everything was getting made. I think active suspension was being made and outlawed, and then back in, and then traction control wasn't even a thing. Like there's so much stuff that they added, and they were in just the ground. That was like it was cool. That's why I recommend it for anybody that's a F1 fan. Like start in the mid 80s and watch it to now, and you get to see every year was something different that got added on, added on, added on, and then we're where we're at now. Which is wild to think about.
All right, sorry, I did not mean to.
No, it's good.
All right, I cannot hear you. Is your mic pick up? 1 second, guys. Mic is not. Technical easier. All right, there we go. There we go.
I cannot hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we're good. Good. Hear me?
Hello, hello.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I'm on my phone because I guess my computer decided to die right now.
All good. We can finish it out this way.
Yeah, I can barely hear you. Okay, wait, there we go. You got me?
Yeah.
Okay, we're adjusting. We're adjusting real quick. Yeah, oh, that sucks. That's super unfortunate. But we're back. Okay, let me see. I
We
have to
have it.
pull it up on my.
We do have an
You have.
echo. I don't know what's echoing by.
Can you hear? We have an echo.
Yeah,
Uh, okay, what about now?
we're good now.
Okay, yeah, I think that was my iPad.
I got you. I got you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I am so sorry about that.
No worries.
Okay.
Growing pains.
Yeah, I know. My computer just straight up just died. I don't think I was connected to my charger this whole time.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. So I didn't even notice. Um, I don't know if you can pull up the 96 like race. I had it up too, man. This sucks.
I don't have. All I have is in our notes what I typed up. I don't see your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I was having trouble with Google.
I
Google
got
Docs.
you.
It wasn't like even. Um. Dang. Okay, I'm pulling it up right now.
While
We're
he's
just
pulling this,
Googling it.
while he's
We're
pu-
doing Google.
while he's pulling this up, I'll go ahead and say this. Like, it's crazy when you look at this race. Like turn one, you have Jos Verstappen just go straight into a wall. If that gives you like a concept of how crazy this was, and then within that same lap, you have Schumacher lose his front left tire. So within the first lap, you lose two drivers, and it's just a domino effect for the rest of the race. And something that I put in my notes is if there was ever a race that you could compare to the Hunger Games, it was 96 Monaco. May the odds ever be in your favor because you're probably going to die.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. It was such an insane race, and then I mean, if you watch it live, like it's so crazy seeing the the just different crashes in different areas. It wasn't like it was the same spot each time. It was different areas. It was a wet and dry track, and then it was a battle of timing when to go onto slicks and when to go to stay on those those wet tires. And yeah, and so I mean the the winner of that race was what, Oliver Panis, for his,
Yeah,
I think, his one and only race
it
win.
was.
Yeah.
And he was running for some team that I've never even heard of and can't even pronounce.
Yeah, what was it?
It started with an L.
Yeah, Ligier Mujan Honda. I don't know. Yeah, and then yeah, and what was crazy was it Damon? He like when I was watching that race, he looked so strong. Um, taking the lead for so long, and then just out of nowhere, just it's just the reliability of those engines back then. You never know too, and he was had an engine problem. It
which is
wasn't even like a crash or nothing.
which is crazy when you think about 90% of everybody that did not finish that race was because of a crash, and then you have him who just the engine just fails.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, and he was so dominant, and everything. And I think he was competing for title at that time too.
I believe so, yes, because he was racing.
Yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong. He was racing with Williams, right?
correct. Yes, and Williams was like that.
That
Williams was
was
it at the time.
that at that time that was the like Williams dynasty,
Yep,
and
yep.
you had Ferrari with Schumacher fighting with.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, 2 years before, I mean, Senna would have still been on that team winning, in a what if scenario.
Yeah,
And because '94, he wins easy with that car. That car was just, it was too good.
yeah.
It was too good of a car. Yeah, and then, yeah, he's probably still winning '95 and '96. Who knows? It's a crazy what if scenario because when it's whenever that Williams era just started falling off.
And the thing is if Senna's still alive, does it fall off when it falls off, or does it continue to thrive at least a little bit longer? Because there's generational drivers like we have Max and Lewis now. Senna was that for his time,
100%. Yeah.
and so it makes it very interesting like that. So you do sim racing, I do sim racing.
Mm-hmm.
We both have a friend, and I don't know if you've heard him say this, that his favorite thing is, oh, let's all go just run Monaco in the rain for fun. And I'm like, what part of this is fun? No.
I already hate racing in the rain in general. But I'm not gonna lie, I do love doing some laps at Monaco
I,
when it's dry.
I don't like Monaco in the dry. I don't mind the rain, but I don't like Monaco in the dry. I'm definitely not going to like it in the wet. I would be
Yeah,
the
no,
guy.
I like
I'd be the guy out there doing like 50 mile an hour. I'm not going to die today.
it. Yeah, no, Monaco's one of my. I like watching it. I like that track. It's interesting, and then there's also that nostalgia of it, that history behind it. But but it is a wild track, and yeah, it's insane. It just you never know what's gonna happen.
I would say that the 96 Monaco GP is one of those fun races that if you've never seen and are going into blind, that are extremely fun to watch because you don't know what's going to happen. There's no way you can go, everybody's going to just wreck out. Like, who
Yeah,
expects that? So it's
yeah,
just something different.
yeah. Oh yeah, it's way different. I recommend everyone go watch it, or just the highlights. You're gonna have a great laugh. It's hilarious. It's wild. Yeah, I mean, three finishers.
And
That says enough right there.
it's a historic race in its own regard.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so did you have anything else to add to it?
No, I think that's kind of it. It was just it's wild seeing the whole changes. I mean, we're taking us back. It's a whole different era of racing at that time, and
Yeah,
so it's cool to see. It's cool to watch those cars. Cool to listen to those cars.
and I think
But yeah, wild race.
I personally enjoyed doing this whole segment because we've got so wrapped up in watching racing now, racing last era, which was the ground effect era, and then you go back and you watch that 2011 era that's completely different car, and then you go back and even further and you watch 96 and you see the different developments that we've had in racing, and you
Yeah.
see different developments in the car and the different driving styles because the driving styles were much more aggressive the further back you go. Like they were a lot bolder. Um,
Hmm.
and it makes you go, can we get that back, or is that a lost art?
Yeah, it's tough to say. Yeah, because I mean I think the level of talent is much closer. I think now.
Yes.
Um, and so it's tough to say because I think back then, like a lot of the moves that we saw were it wasn't like it was on the top racers, racing each other. It was usually because they're passing a back marker or something because it was so common. Like back then, it was only five or six, people were on the lead lap at the end of a race. It was so common for that to happen.
But I mean, we still have that now.
Yeah. I mean, not five or six. I think the average now is like 13, 14 compared to 5, 6 on average throughout the whole season, is what I'm saying.
That's fair. Okay, that's
Yeah,
fair.
and so yeah, it's wild the disparity, but like yeah, I'm glad at least the racing's closer, but now it's just finding that what we were talking about previously is finding that good in between of new technology hybrid, with sustainable fuel, but like still getting that old nostalgia power that we want to hear and see, you know.
Yes, and also to add to that, we have to remember that if we want more aggressive racing, we cannot burn the driver at the stake when something goes wrong. You
100%.
you think about Brazil last year, and Oscar goes in on that dive on the underside of Kimmy, hits Kimmy, it goes into Charles. Charles is out for the race, and everybody's like, "Oh, Oscar should have never done that," and like rips into Oscar. Like, we can't
Yeah.
expect these guys to be aggressive 1 second and the next second be
Mhm.
mad when they are.
Yep, exactly. I agree. Everybody's so quick to, I mean, that's social media nowadays, like I'm sure it was back then, but it was just word of mouth. Now we get to all just say our opinions, put it out there, and you get the whole flood range of different opinions on every scenario that ever happened.
And I you cannot tell me that does not affect these drivers. I mean, you think about
Oh,
all these drivers that are getting death threats now because they caused one accident.
yeah.
That gets in their head. Like if you watch Drive to Survive from this past season, this newest season, like Jack
Mhm.
Doohan talks about how like that was getting in his head.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
How can you go
Yeah,
out
it was
there
getting
and
to everybody.
how can you go out there and race and then have to worry about, ooh, I might accidentally cause something, and who knows, somebody might actually try to kill me over this.
Yep.
Like
Yep. And then
we can't get in their heads and expect good driving at the same time.
no, without a doubt. And it sucks. It's unfortunate, but it's like at the same time, it's the name of the game now.
Yeah,
We're in this weird technology phase of our lives with social media integrated with everything, and it's unfortunate.
we,
Yeah,
we just need people to use common sense and have some home training. Like
yeah.
you would not say some of the stuff that you say on social media to people's faces. So if
No.
you wouldn't do that, just stop putting it on social media. Act like you got some
Yep.
sense.
Yep. Go get in a go kart even and just try to race and be good.
Right.
A lot
Like
of those people can't even do that.
exactly. And it's kind of sad to see. And I will be the first to admit there's times I'm like he should not have made that move. But there's one thing to be like he should not have made this move and then to try to crucify him.
Yeah, exactly. He made a mistake. It is what it is. It's time to move on and go to the next race. That's why there's a lot more races, not just one race the whole
Exactly.
season.
And I think and talking about that, I think that's why Max was so mad with the reporter that he's like, I'm just gonna boycott this dude. Is because he goes,
Mhm.
well, then are you upset about the move that you made, or was it Spa or Spain or somewhere? That might be the same place. Um, with George, and he's like, for real? Like, there's 24 races in the season. There's other stuff that happened than other than just that wreck. That kept him
Mhm.
from winning the title. You can go back to Austria, and if Kimi hadn't have just taken was that turn two the way he did, like 3 laps in, and
Mhm.
took Max out, he still would have won then too. So I mean, like, there's so much that we just gotta remember. It's more than one race. It might be a little short this season, but still more than one race.
Yeah. I mean, it's only two less races.
So did you
They've
have
been
any?
running, I think, what, 16 races before, so
Yeah, I think the lowest they've ever done is 16.
yeah.
Do you have any other closing out thoughts?
No, man, I'm just thankful to be a part of it, and I'm excited to keep talking F1 and see where this thing goes. Thanks for everybody that's listening.
I am excited to be doing this podcast with you. I think we're gonna have some fun. I think that as things iron out, get bugs fixed, people can expect some really great stuff and some good commentary, especially once we start getting to break down some of these races outside of talking historic stuff. We can talk the moves that happen. It'll be fun to see how this goes. But
Heck yeah.
as we close out, just remember, guys, go follow us on all the social media platforms. We're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube, obviously on Twitch. Like, subscribe, follow, do all the things. It'll help us grow, be able to do more things for y'all as well. And just, we appreciate all the support that y'all give, and we'll see y'all next time.